Yo, 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 what is happening, y'all? This is your boy Tony Sway. I hope you guys are doing amazing tonight. I'm here with the late live stream, and this live stream, this is not about me. This is just to pay tribute to one of my favorite musicians of all time, D'Angelo. Um, I don't know if anybody's up right now. I got a lot of people that listen to that are subscribed to this page in different parts of the world. So if you're up, you hang out with me and show some love to the late great D'Angelo. If you were a fan of his music, leave some thoughts and some prayers and just let's take this time to pay tribute to one of the greats, neo soul, R&B soul legend, musical legend. You know what I mean? Um, I just wanted to pay my respects. And I grew up listening to this man's music. We're talking, I think that first album came out when I was 12 years old, believe it or not. And I don't know if anybody's watching, say what's up. If you catch me on the replay, that's fine as well. But I just want to take a few minutes to really pay my respect to this brother, man. I think that he is absolute musical legend, and I couldn't just say nothing because I looked up to his music so much and his musicianship, the musicianship of D'Angelo. He is a producer, he is a songwriter, he is a vocalist, he is a arranger, he is a performer, he is a live instrumentalist. He played the piano, he played the guitar, he played several different instruments. Go listen to his catalog, go listen to the first album, go listen to the second album, go listen to the third album. If you're not familiar with his work, go get familiar. You should be. If you know who he is, I would hope that you're familiar with his work. If you're younger and you don't know who D'Angelo is, go get familiar with his work. He's one of the best musicians that we've ever had, seriously. And, when I first heard about D'Angelo, like I said, I was only about 12 years old, and I was probably watching BET. And I remember he had an interview, maybe it was Video Soul, one of those shows. And I just remember them talking, remember that they were talking to him about, him when he wrote his first songs and how he wrote his first songs very young. He was, I don't know what the word is for it, but he basically had the gift from a very early age. And he wrote his first songs very young, and he learned how to play several different instruments. And he was inspired by, people like Prince. Prince was one of his main inspirations, and you can even hear it in his voice. And D'Angelo really mastered the falsetto. He's one of the great falsetto singers of our time. And that can be demonstrated in several songs. How Do You Feel is one of probably the most commercial song that people probably know. But man, I just remember really admiring him because I would pick up the artwork and I would read the liner notes and I'd be like, wow, he did this, he did that, he produced it, he played the keys on it, he played the guitar on it, he wrote it, he arranged it. I was like, man, this guy is, this cat right here is really passionate about what he does. And you can hear it in the music. You could hear the passion in the music. And he really took his music seriously. And you know what I mean? Like, so I just wanted to take time and really, pay tribute to the musical legacy that he left us. And we really got to appreciate, the greats and the legends that made an impact on our life. And a lot of people doing music now could look to a D'Angelo and look at the passion that he had for his craft. You know what I mean? Look at the passion he had for his craft. Look at the effort he put into what he did. You know, just make he didn't just make music to put it out to just try to be rich or something. He made music because music is what he was. He was the music. You know what I mean? So it was who he was. And he put his all into what he did. And you could feel it when you turn on those, you know, I want some of your brown sugar. Like those songs, you know what I mean? They're just classic songs. And when he got together with Raphael Sadiq, You're My Lady, all those records, man, they're just really brilliant records, soulful records, and you can just really feel the heart in the records, and just incredible music at the end of the day, man. And you know, he got with Lauryn Hill on her classic Miseducation album. You know, I think that's one of the biggest hip hop albums in history, is Lauryn Hill's Miseducation. And he got together, he did a record on that album. I don't know if y'all remember that, but man, so, you know, just thinking about this, it just really brings me back. It makes me nostalgic and really brings me back to my childhood and watching BET and watching the people and the musicians that inspired me and listening to their interviews and how they got their start. And, you know, just like everybody else, I was very shocked when I heard the news. And because, you know, 51 is still relatively young, you know what I mean? So obviously that, you know, it's heartbreaking, you know what I mean? And, you know, I just wanted to say prayers out to his family, blessings to his family through this time. And he actually has some pretty incredible kids that also make music as well. So make sure you look that up. I believe he has a daughter that makes music. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I believe his son makes music as well. I think their music is available online. So make sure you support, you know, his kids' music. They definitely got the talent, definitely got passed down. You know what I mean? You know, so, but wow, just, yeah, you know, shout out to, you know, D'Angelo and the musical legacy that he left us. And I think, you know, musicians could definitely learn from, you know, the art that he put out. Just go study his projects. Even, you know, he put out a project also called Black Messiah, which is probably it didn't necessarily get the attention as maybe his earlier work because, you know, for whatever reasons, but that album is incredible as well. So make sure you check that out. You know what I mean? I know he had a hard time after, you know, he had blown up really big with when How Do You Feel came out. That was like super big on all, you know, MTV, BET, that was playing all day, every day. And, you know, that was probably, you know, hard. From what I've heard, that was kind of hard on him having that level of success. And it's hard for any musician when you reach a certain level where people expect you to always be, they always want you to be that guy, you know what I mean? But I just wanted to take this time to kind of more focus on, you know, just really paying my respect to him and as a musician and as a brilliant, talented person that he is, you know what I mean? So, and I feel like a lot of musicians can learn from what he did musically, and also too, musically. And then he was on top of his brand, you know, and he made sure he had his look down pack, you know, and he made sure that he looked right for the ladies and everything. And, you know, as an R&B guy, I've always admired the people that put all effort into all areas. They put, you know, maximum effort into their songwriting, maximum effort into their vocals and their harmonies, maximum effort into the producing and the production, but also they take care of their look. They're in the gym. They got their look. They got their fit is right. And I admired that about D'Angelo, that he pretty much was what you would call like a triple threat. You know, he was like a triple threat musically. He had everything down pat. You know what I mean? So Yeah, yeah. What's good? What's good? Hard man five. I appreciate you. Yeah, I wish him and Prince did get together. Again, I don't know why that didn't happen. D'Angelo was a big fan of Prince and often would mention him as one of his top influences. And I'm sure Prince loved what he did as well. I never really read anything about them getting together, but I'm sure they probably crossed paths at one point in time. And I know Prince, he respected musicianship, you know what I mean? So I'm pretty sure they met at one point and probably showed love at one point in time. But that would have been amazing if they got a record together. That would have been absolutely incredible, you know. But just as a musician myself, uh, what I would tell other musicians is pay attention to the passion of somebody like a D'Angelo. He really lived and breathed the music. He embodied the music. And I feel like artists today could learn from his legacy, his musical legacy, the heart of a true musician, and really perfecting all areas of your craft. Like I said, whether it's learning the different instruments, learning how to arrange your vocals, learning how to put together your harmonies properly, perfecting your falsetto, perfecting your different vocal tones, perfecting your different cadences of your voice, perfecting your look too, making sure that your look matches your music. That's, people forget how important it is that you should look how your music sounds. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean. So if you make a certain kind of music, you should look how your music sounds. So if you're making real smooth R&B music, you should be real dapper. You know what I mean? You should be real fly. If you're making like a grungy kind of alternative music, you might be one of kind of grungy looking, or you know what I mean? I feel like D'Angelo embodied that as well, that he presented himself as the smooth R&B dude, and he pulled it off, which a lot of people are not able to do that anymore. A lot of people just do music and they don't embody that music. Somebody will make a song and they won't necessarily, their look won't even match the song. I feel like he also demonstrated that as well, branding himself well, and his team branded him in such a way that he embodied the songs that he made. And I've always admired that as well, because I feel like as an R&B artist, we got to present just like how the music sounds. We also have to present that way. We have to carry that charisma. We have to carry that swag. And he did it on the highest level. You know what I mean? So that's what it is. And, so shout out to D'Angelo, man. And again, I had no clue, you know what I mean? That I had no clue that you just, when things like this happen, they always say it's sudden, right? And I always hoped that I would hear more music from him. But the music that he left us with is already so incredible, and it speaks volumes, and it will last for forever. You know what I mean? His music will last forever. And I appreciate, his contribution to the music world. And that's just, it is what it is, man. So again, I couldn't just sit and not say something or pay my respects. I don't speak about every single artist, but when it's somebody that I truly admire, I gotta pay my respects. Even though I never met him personally, I gotta pay my respects, because he did it, he did it to the fullest, and he really loved this music. He really did it from the heart. You know what I mean? And yeah, my number one favorite D'Angelo song. That's a tough one, because there's so many great records that he has. But I think it's from that first album, So Smooth. Look at you, you're so smooth. I think that's probably like my favorite, just off the top of my head. But you know what I mean? Like I said, he has a lot of great records, and some that's tough to choose. I would say So Smooth and Brown Sugar, probably because that's when I first heard of him. And how do you feel? I think I'm saying it right. That record too is just, I think people more focused on the video, but if you just listen to um, the record in itself is just pure brilliance. You know what I mean? And but his catalog is insane. But if I had to pick, I would say So Smooth and Brown Sugar were my favorite records. And that was my introduction to him musically, being a 12-year old, watching Video Soul and, seeing him come on and, talk about, him playing different instruments and songwriting and how he was inspired by Prince, and just listening to the interview and then hearing his music, and you could feel the passion in the music. And I'm like, man, this is truly a unique sound. That he had his own sound, really. Yeah, Lady, for sure. You're my lady. Like, yeah, him and Sadiq, they crafted an absolute classic. I think that's the one my mom played that record probably the most. And that record really banged on the radio out here. We have a station called Cube 93 that used to be really popular out in Seattle, and they really banged that record on the radio, like night and day. That record was playing, and my mom had the CD. She had the CD, and that's probably the record that she played the most, from what I remember. And yeah, we loved D'Angelo at my house growing up, and the music, it's incredible. It was incredible then, and it's incredible now. It's just timeless music. And he just had a very unique sound that was really his own. Like, he blended jazz, R&B, and soul together, and little elements of rock even. Like, he was really able to blend, and even gospel. Like, he was able to really blend those sounds seamlessly, effortlessly, and create his own kind of fusion, and put these really sultry falsetto vocals that just kind of blended perfectly with the track. You know what I mean? I didn't even hear about that. So you're saying that they were working on an album with Raphael? I bet, man, I would love to hear. Hopefully, maybe they'll eventually put out some of the records if they finish something. Hopefully we get that. I'm gonna have to look that up. Yeah, shout out to Raphael Sadiq, man. He's actually, he's a living legend. He's been behind a lot of great stuff, not just Tony Tone, but he's also, wrote, Total, Kissing You, and countless other records, you know what I mean? So shout out to Raphael Sadiq as well, man. And he was obviously a big part of, D'Angelo being introduced to the music world, because, Lady was one of his biggest hits, obviously. So he had a lot to do with, introducing D'Angelo to, to the music world. And it's like a cosign, right? When you have another great producer that works with you, that's like a cosign, you know what I mean? So that's what it is, man. So, everybody just, leave your thoughts and your prayers and your, kind words to D'Angelo. Let's just pay tribute to him. If you catch me on the playback, make sure you just, leave a kind word for D'Angelo, and, say some nice things, and how his music affected your life in a positive way, and any memories that you might have. And for me, it's, a trip down memory lane, because, like I said, I was so young when that first album dropped, 12 years old, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of nostalgia there for me in those songs. And, a lot of memories, a lot of life was lived to that music. And we're definitely going to, miss D'Angelo. And, it's unfortunate that sometimes people tend to think of people when they're gone. But I guess this is so unexpected. Me personally, I always just thought, okay, he probably is going to drop an album again pretty soon. And I was never thinking that something like this would happen. You know what I mean? So, but again, my love and my prayers go out to him and his family. And make sure you know, share some kind words and send prayers out to his family. I know some of his kids do music and they're on social media, so you can always show them your support. And I was able to find his daughter's music, and she's very, very talented, very talented. Make sure to look her up as well. Yeah, she could blow up for sure. She has a great sound. I haven't yet heard his son's songs, so I got to look that up next. But yeah, that's all. I just wanted to chop it up. I appreciate you kicking it here with me. I know it's a late stream, but I just wanted to get this video out there to, pay my respect to D'Angelo, and gonna miss that legend. And but I'm not going to I'm not going to let this be something negative. I just want to take this time to, celebrate his life and his contribution to the music world and what he left us with. So shout out to D'Angelo, and much love to him. And that's pretty much all I wanted to say. So this wraps up my live stream today. I appreciate anybody that's kicked it. Hardman5, thanks for dropping some kind words about D'Angelo. And if you guys catch this on the playback, make sure you share some of your thoughts on how his music affected your life positively. And that's about it. So God bless y'all. I love you. And y'all be easy. Take care of your health out there. Make sure you stay safe. Because Sway cares. If ain't nobody else cares. Sway cares if ain't nobody else care. That's one of my favorite lines from Tupac, Keep Your Head Up. But much love to everybody. I appreciate you. God bless everyone, and stay safe out there. Take care of your health, and much love to D'Angelo. Prayers to his family, and good night. Appreciate y'all. God bless.